Central California, one of nature's true masterpieces. A paradise that many call home. But what many don't know is that there is a hidden, silent, deadly threat that could destroy all of it.
There are three main reasons why Diablo Canyon must be closed. The first, it is releasing cancer-causing radioactive isotopes into the environment. The second, it is destroying marine life through its cooling system, which emits hot water back into the ocean. And the third, and most significant of all, is it is at risk for a Fukushima-like earthquake, tsunami, and meltdown.
If people really understood the truth about nuke plants, they would be much more strongly opposed to them. Fukushima certainly helped bring awareness. I just don't want to see one melt down to windward of a major population center because it'll kill them.
On March 14th, 2016, the World Business Academy presented factual data on proven radiation health issues to the State Lands Commission. The Academy requested that this information be included in the scoping memo for the proposed Environmental Impact Report, otherwise known as an EIR, prior to the Commission deciding to renew the leases for the plant. None of this information was included, and on June 28, 2016, the California State Lands Commission traded the well-being of the citizens of California for profit and greed.
I call this meeting of the State Lands Commission to order.
CEQA requires public agencies to consider project impacts to the existing conditions of the environment. When a public agency determines that a proposed project will have a potentially significant effect on the environment, the agency generally must prepare an EIR. Lease approvals for existing facilities, however, are generally categorically exempt from review. An exception to applying this categorical exemption, however, applies when there is a reasonable possibility that the activity will have a significant effect on the environment due to unusual circumstances.
Since an EIR of Diablo Canyon has never been conducted, the cumulative health, environmental, and other impacts from plant emissions and stored radioactive waste have yet to be fully measured, and such an EIR should show that these impacts substantially interfere with state responsibilities.
Based on the information in the staff report and submitted as part of the record, staff recommends that the proposed limited term lease is exempt from CEQA as a categorical exemption and that the unusual circumstance exception does not apply in this particular case.
PG&E would have a more legally defensible new lease at Diablo Canyon if it were preceded by an EIR. PG&E doesn't want you to do that.
Absent the completion of an EIR, there are no other credible means of determining whether plant operations adequately protect the public interest.
One has to wonder what information it is that would come out from a full CEQA review process that PG&E is so afraid of.
There is no legal requirement for us to publish that staff report.
The Commission should meet its moral and legal obligations under the public trust doctrine.
I'm Geisha Williams, and I'm president of PG&E Electric, and I'm delighted to be here today to speak before you. I'd like to begin by thanking the Commission staff for their incredible and very hard work and detailed analysis for many, many months now. Thank you for that comprehensive report.
PG&E is the only utility licensee in the entire history of the commercial nuclear power industry ever to face prosecution from the federal government for 12 safety-related felonies and 1 obstruction of investigation felony.
Right now, today, PG&E is on trial They're on trial in Northern California. They have 12 federal criminal assault charges as well as civil contempt charges. For what? For the inappropriate pursuit of profit at the risk, at the callous disregard of public health and safety.
I was employed at PG&E's Humboldt Bay Nuclear Power Plant as a nuclear control technician. I'm here today to testify before the Commission that PG&E, the NRC, and the nuclear establishment in general cannot be trusted.
I continue to be mystified by PG&E's approach to risk.
The San Bruno fault connects to the San Simeon fault, connects to the Hosgray fault. And if you take it all the way along, you have an incredibly long fault along the California coastline, which could generate an exceedingly large earthquake. Am I willing to put everybody at risk for the next 10 years on something that we know will happen, but we just never will able to figure out when it will happen until it catches us by surprise?
My name is Daniel Hirsch. I'm the director of the program on environmental and nuclear policy at UC Santa Cruz, though my views here today are my own and not those of the university. I'm going to talk about the elephant in the room that no one is talking about. And that elephant is the risk of an earthquake, a terrorist event, or some other accident occurring between now and 2025. You are faced with the possibility of an event just like Fukushima. And so I just want to ask each of you to think how you would explain to your families and to the California public if there were an earthquake that caused a substantial portion of California to be damaged, and you hadn't done the last bit that you could do to try to improve this agreement and try to shorten that window of risk. I urge you to think about that as an alternative. I think it would be hard to sleep at night if you didn't.
Don't accuse this commission of, it's on your watch and you won't be able to sleep at night. That kind of rhetoric, that's divisive rhetoric. These are weighty topics, but that kind of threat, that doesn't do you. Actually, you lose a lot in that. I think some of those folks, you're better than that.
A study is just being completed now by Chris Busby in the UK, the leading radioactive researcher in the world. And what that says is about 24 children will die. Will die. They won't be the children of PG&E presidents. They don't live here. Those 24 kids are going to be right here in San Luis Obispo County. And if our data is wrong, here's what you need to do. You need to have an EIR to find out if it's wrong. If you don't believe the seismic data, you need to have an EIR to find out if the seismic data is wrong. If you don't believe the data on fish kill and larvae, you got to do an EIR to find out about that.
Tell me you're doing your job when you allow this plant to continue operating without first investigating the potentially lethal consequences of ionizing radiation.
I'm here to paint you a grim picture of the certainty that will follow from the continued operation of Diablo Canyon based on decades of studies by research scientists and medical doctors around the world. This includes increased cancers. This includes increased infant mortality. This includes extreme infant mortality. This includes low birth weight. This includes additional breast cancers and other cancers.
PG&E records, their own records, showed the plant would discharge daily, 9,300 pounds of lead, 2,100 pounds of zinc, 8,500 pounds of arsenic, 5,800 pounds of cyanide, and 150 pounds of mercury per day.
Tell me that this position amounts to anything more than just spending the next 9 years praying with our fingers crossed that we avoid a catastrophic meltdown.
So I want to know, you said that this commission was not involved in this deal, but I believe that this whole thing is a sham. I believe everything has been decided. I want to know if Mr. Newsom was involved in this deal.
I try to collect my thoughts, but I don't think I have effectively done that.
A deal got cut behind closed doors to protect the financial investment of PG&E at the cost of the health of the citizens living under the plume of this nuclear power plant, and at the known risk of a seismic event that could cost tens, if not hundreds of billions of dollars and destroy the economy of the central coast of California for 1,000 years.
I think we live in times where we're just surrounded by a lot of uncertainty. I go to sleep every night really feeling susceptible to a lot of different threats. So I'm prepared to adopt the staff recommendation.
So with that, I'm going to support the recommendation from staff and move this on.
The fact is, there is enough existing and potential clean energy available now to phase out Diablo Canyon today, without resorting to producing more polluting greenhouse gases.
A deal got cut behind closed doors to protect the financial investment of PG&E.
Such will be the order.
I do believe there's been a due process breach here.
This is a dirty deal that is going to fail, and we real environmentalists are going to win.
There are times in life when you have to fight to be on the right side of history. This is one of those times.
But if you get this mountain high and clear, there's much to fear. Just don't dig here.
10,000 years from now, there will need to be a sign above the future site for all high-level nuclear waste in America. The sign will read, "Don't dig here."
I don't think most people understand just how easy it is for them to lose containment. I certainly don't think they understand about the waste. We don't have any way to deal with waste.
Take a moment and think about that.
Local group is suing the State Lands Commission over the recent lease extension at Diablo Canyon Power Plant. The World Business Academy is demanding the state review what the group calls significant potential environmental and human health dangers.
It's all of us saying enough. We are going to hold corporations, no matter how powerful, accountable. And we're going to hold our elected officials, which is the State Lands Commission, accountable to make sure that the wrongdoer, those who choose to destroy the commons, will be held liable.
On August 2nd, 2016, the World Business Academy went to court. The objective? To overturn the Commission's decision to not do an environmental impact report prior to renewing the leases for Diablo Canyon. We need your support to close down this last remaining nuclear power plant in California, and one day, all the nuclear plants in America. Please help us work toward the advancement of clean energy here at home and throughout the world.